Here we go.
Hello, good morning.
Oh, good morning, BBs. It is too early.
It sure is.
Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan.
And Saige, did you do anything fun this weekend?
Yeah, Anthony, I got new glasses.
Hey, look at those. They look great. Well, goodbye, everyone.
That's it. No, don't go before you tell me what you think of my new glasses. They're kind of square.
Yeah. Don't go. We're still doing glasses, but don't go.
Yes, Anthony, I did.
Yeah. We had a donut and we had cookies from McDonald's. And we hung out
from McDonald's yesterday.
And we hung out and we watched TikToks.
We did a bunch of manual labor.
Yeah.
But most importantly, we went to Super Nintendo World on Saturday. And
Say what?
In the Discord and on Twitter and on Instagram were already asking, wait a minute, did it already open? What? And the answer is no.
The answer is no. The answer is we snuck in through a garbage disposal pipe.
I consider it a warp pipe.
We did a reverse Dirty Mario is what it's called, and don't look that up with Safe Search off. We were lucky enough to be invited to tech rehearsals at Super Nintendo World. We have a friend that works at the park. Now tech rehearsals mean kind of exactly what they sound like.
They do. So the park is not exactly the way that it will be once it is open to the public next month. Now, of course, this is Super Nintendo World in Los Angeles.
We just did a quick flight to Japan.
We just popped over to Japan over
I'm in the mood for some katsu. Why don't we just pop over to Japan?
It's opening in Orlando too, right? Is it open?
No.
Okay.
Did you, when you were a kid and you watched TV, and you were watching TV shows about people, and it was like, did you ever think that adults just got onto planes to have meals? Like, oh, I want this. I'm going to this state or this country to have this meal.
Yeah. But only very rich people.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was an adult thing. I thought it was an exorbitantly wealthy people thing.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, that's a thing that people do, and I suppose it is.
Yeah. During my childhood, I went on a plane. I think only one real time.
The other times they pretended it was a plane.
I was trying to remember. I think I just went to Florida and back. I think that was the only time I was ever on a plane as a kid.
Yeah.
So I didn't think that was a thing all adults did.
Her parents would put her in a cardboard box and shake it around and be like, we're flying. Listen. So tech rehearsals at a theme park basically mean we're going to run this park at capacity all day and see if it breaks. And sometimes it does.
And this weekend, it did.
It did. So we got to do a lot of stuff. We didn't get to do all of the things. But
one might even say that we didn't get to do any of the main things.
One might say that.
But we're not saying that.
We would never say that. One might.
But we took cameras with us, and we filmed all of it for you. So we're going to watch back some of the footage of us having a good time. But also first, let's show you our power bands. Let's talk about it. So power bands are super important to Super Nintendo World. These are $43. You get to keep it forever. And you get to use it. It connects to an app on your phone that can accumulate things every time that you go.
Yep.
Personally, something I really enjoyed was the achievements on it. There is a list of sticker achievements.
Yeah, I got
that are
we got B-roll and all that. We'll show you.
We will, but I'm just telling you how it works for when we show it. So it's things that build up. At first, the $43 seemed like a lot, but after seeing the actual app, I was like, all right, fair, you got me.
So they basically, if you're thinking about like Disney power bands, these don't do everything a Disney power band does. Like they're not like fast passes. You're not paying with them instead of your wallet. There's like nothing like that.
No.
It's basically just interactive things that happen in Super Nintendo World react to these bands. You don't need the bands to go to Super Nintendo World, but I'm going to tell you what, you want them.
I'm going to say, honestly, I and this might be a hot take, I don't think it's worth going without a power band.
No, I don't
Without,
think that's a
like,
hot take at all.
Like, even if you had just one in your group so that you could all participate in something together and you could trade off and you can pass it around, because that's absolutely something you're allowed to do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go without a power band.
Yeah, there's a lot of the park is reactive to this. It's also for the $43. This is also an amiibo. So this is a Luigi amiibo that I can use with any Nintendo game that uses amiibos.
I got Princess Peach.
They also have Mario, they have Yoshi, and they have Daisy.
Toad and Daisy. Yeah.
Toad and Daisy. So let's talk about, and they are snap bracelets.
They are snap bracelets.
So there's a lot of fun to be had with a power band. Saffron
said, do you think there will be an issue with bands not being available? Like, should I order it online because physical stores won't have the supply for all the people? No, I don't think that that's the case. However, currently they are in 2-hour reservations and the lines were pretty long to get them.
Mm-hmm.
So if there is a place that you can get it, fortunately our friend picked these up for us, so we didn't deal with the line. We were a little spoiled, but
yeah.
If there is a place that you can get it outside of Super Nintendo World itself, even if it's in just like the rest of the Universal Park,
yeah.
if you can get it before your 2-hour reservation so you don't cut into the 2 hours waiting for this, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I don't know that they're going to be selling them outside of the park. I do know that when Super Nintendo World opens, they will be available either in Nintendo World itself or at the main gift shop at Universal Studios. And they are going to run it sounds like they did with Galaxy's Edge, where everybody during the first however many months is only going to get, like Saige is saying, that 2-hour window. So you definitely want to, like, if you can go to Universal early, get your band, and then go to Nintendo World later in the day, that's probably the way to do it. Yeah. Let's show you some of this stuff as we're talking about the rest of it, so you can actually see what we're talking about. So here we are, at Super Nintendo World. So here we are getting our bands. We were very excited to get our bands.
Maybe
this
even
is the
too excited.
This is the app. So you scan the band, and it connects to the app, and then you choose your character. You choose a player name. Your player name is on scoreboards within the app. So if you're somebody who wants like a little bit more privacy, don't put your name in there. Put something silly. So you pick your character, you pick the background, you pick your player name.
Resident expert Kaylee Bray is in the chat, said the main character gift shop was selling power bands. It happened that way after opening. So yes, it is
the main character store and then inside. So you get this story when you start. The whole story of the land is that Bowser Jr. has taken a golden mushroom, and it tells you like all the things you can do once you get into the land. You get a map, you get an interactive map. This is the entrance.
The entrance is so good, it's ridiculous. Now I know, watched a tour of it, I think on its tour maybe a year ago from Super Nintendo World Japan, of it playing the Mario Galaxy theme, but it's good.
It's very good. So you can take your picture in warp pipes before you go in. We were like, we do not have time for that nonsense. You go into the warp pipe. It plays the warp pipe sound, and then it plays Mario Galaxy music outside, which we were very excited about.
We love Mario Galaxy in this house.
And then when you come out, you are in the main foyer of Princess Peach's castle. Which is awesome.
Which this part got me. Mario 64 is one of those like life-changing games for me. It's so good, and it feels like you're in the castle. The rug, like the not the rug, but like the tile on the ground. In the center,
we're about to show it.
Design.
So you can look up for the wing cap.
Yep.
But you can stand in
that level.
It's the worst. But then it shows like the regular paintings, but then it also shows the story of the land as it's going on. It's good. I think it's at a really good scale. Like, it's small, but I think that's okay. Saige would try every time the camera was on one of the paintings. Saige would be like, "I'm jumping in."
I wanted to jump into that painting so fucking bad. Oh, we didn't show the floor, but the floor has the beautiful star pattern from Nintendo.
Yeah, the sun. Yeah.
Super Mario 64.
So there you go. Peach was in the gazebo, and I lost my mind, and my camera skills went to hell. But I'm sorry, but I'm not. So you come in at Princess Peach's courtyard.
Okay. The piranha plants are my personal favorite.
They look amazing.
They look so good, and they move so well.
There are Pokies that are up high. There's thwomps. You can see Yoshi. You can see like one of the lamps is already out there. Like I said, it's tech rehearsals. This is Beanpole Mountain. They put Beanpole Mountain in it.
Yeah.
This is the main seating in the area. Now, something that's interesting about it, that's what it all looks like. It's beautiful. The theming is unbelievable.
I want to climb it so bad. The fact that it's not climbable is honestly fucked up.
This is the line to the main ride, which is Mario Kart, and it's all Yoshi's Island themed. So the artwork is entirely like, it's got that hand-drawn look.
The beginning has the beautiful, like, light pink, soft pastel intro.
Yeah.
Before you get into this, like, dark
this
stuff.
was first because we get to that next.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's got the little stars with the feetsies. So this is what Saige is talking about.
I thought this was where we came in.
There are screens there. That sky is screens. There weren't characters running around, but I have a feeling there will be.
On them currently.
I have a feeling there will be. So the line for Mario Kart, there's a ride. The ride is Mario Kart. So through Yoshi's Island, you go through a warp pipe, you come out at Bowser's Castle, which is where Mario Kart is.
Can we pause it for a second?
We can, yeah.
Let's talk about Mario Kart.
It's Mario Kart TV themed. The whole ride, ride and the whole thing.
All the employees wear like their like racing jumpsuits.
There's the big Bowser statue in the foyer. It's all Bowser's Castle. Now here's the issue, because as we said, it is a rehearsal.
It is.
So unfortunately, Mario Kart, they were stress testing it. Can it run at full capacity all day long yet? What are the issues? What are the choke points? Does it work or not? What do we got to fix?
And we don't know what the answer to that was because we didn't get on the ride.
Yeah. So we would get into line, and honestly, both times we got into line twice. We were in line both times for over a half an hour of like what was supposed to be an hour-long, 2-hour-long wait, depending. And unfortunately, both times the ride broke down to the point where they had to tell us like, "Hey, we don't know how long it's going to be."
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just the automated message. It was like somebody came over after the automated message and was like, "Hey, we're sorry. Like we've got technicians on this." But we don't know what it's going to be. So we decided better to make the use of our time.
Yeah, because, again, it's a 2-hour window. So when we went in the first time, we rushed immediately to the ride. We stopped and we hit a couple of power blocks, but first things first, we wanted to get on the one and only ride. But once they said it was so delayed and that there was no insight into when it would be coming back up, we figured, well, we don't want to spend our entire 2 hours in this line, especially if it could not come back up.
Now, if they're running previews, if they run public previews the same way they're running these tech rehearsals, one thing to know is like we were told to run to Mario Kart first by people who had been there, but that turns out to like not be the plan.
Not the strat.
Not the strat. You have 2 hours, and the thing is, you can get in line for Mario Kart at any time during your 2-hour slot.
So get in line right at the end.
Yeah, get in line.
Had a 5 to 7 time slot. We got in line the second time at like 6:59.
Yeah, we were like, here we go. Let's go. So we got out of line and we decided to do some of the interactive stuff. And the interactive stuff was really fun. This person was in line ahead of us. So many people were like decked out.
Yeah.
And it was like really nice to see. There was a woman who was full on Mario bounding, who was
there was a few people who had like little group costumes like that too.
It was very sweet. It was very sweet seeing her. She got her picture with like all the characters. So there are 3 characters right now: Mario, Luigi, and Peach. That's it. I think Yoshi is supposed to show up soon. But that's all we know, is that there are 3 for sure. So this was us in line for one of the interactive things. This is what it's like. They make the noises. They make the faster you hit them, the more coins you get out of them. It shows you how many coins you've collected in the app. You also get stamps. So we found like if you find the hidden M's, it's like Mario Odyssey, where like the 8-bit characters pop up, and then you can get these stamps. You can see there are stamps for Mario Kart, there are stamps for the park, and then you also get keys. So this was a special key. We gotta pause. We're going to. Yeah. This was a special key where it was POW blocks. So the deal was,
that one was fun.
It was really fun. So there are 4 keys hidden throughout the Mushroom Kingdom. If you get 3 of them, you get to do a boss battle against Bowser Jr., which is like off in its own little kind of semi-hidden entrance.
Now the keys are fun because as opposed to just like the power blocks where you get coins and stuff like that, they actually have little challenges. So the one that you just watched had a shell going through a warp pipe, or just a regular pipe rather, and you had to stop it at the correct time to send the shell up. So it was a fun little skill based. You got 3 chances to try and get the shell to shoot through the top of it, and if you didn't succeed in those 3 times, you had to go back to the back of the line.
We all nailed it on our first time, everybody in our group.
We watched so many people ahead of us try and fail, and all 3 of us, me, Anthony, Kaylee, each got it on the first try.
Yeah, it was fun, and it was cool. The timing of it was really good.
Complex, but
yeah, the timing of it was really good, like hitting the POW block to knock the other POW block to knock the other POW block to get the Koopa shell to go up.
Yeah.
It was really, really fun. Fire Flower. From that one, we went to, first Saige had to sit on a toadstool.
because it's so cute and I love it.
This one was, there's a Goomba running on a hill, and you've got to turn the crank to make it fall. You cannot hear me screaming, get wrecked Goomba, 3 keys or die.
Now, he in fact screamed it so loud that we discovered there was someone I knew in the park at this time that quickly yelled back at Anthony and then identified that we know each other.
Yep, it was
And
3.
I went, oh, I'm with the loudest person in the park.
I screamed, 3 keys, and then somebody screamed back, 3 keys, and we just did it back and forth like 3 times.
And then we discovered that we knew this person.
Yeah. I was excited that it was just somebody randomly as excited as I was.
And he was, because he doesn't know you.
Yeah.
But I did have to go, I'm sorry.
So this is Bowser Jr.'s lair after we collected our keys. There is a big lock, and once you have your 3 keys, you hit the lock, and it opens. You hear Bowser Jr.'s little laugh.
Yeah.
And then you go in. He's got his paint marks everywhere. He's painted things on the walls.
The line for this is so good.
Yeah. This had some of the best theming. You get into his main room, and this is like where they keep the storeroom where they keep all their stuff. And I love like the Mecha Koopas and the poison mushroom.
It's so cute.
It was really good. He wouldn't leave his paintbrush lying around, though. That doesn't seem correct. But the Karibo shoe, this is Princess Peach telling you how to do the boss battle. And when we heard about this, we went cuckoo bananas.
Okay, so let's talk about how it works.
I have footage too.
We're going to talk about it.
Yeah, I know. I'm just letting you know.
You get in, you get a little intro video about getting, of course, the golden mushroom back. And there is like a projection of you on the screen where you were fighting off these bombs. And you can see everyone, you all stand in a row, you get to go in as a group, and you get to fight off these, dodge bullet bills, and that's it. You catch good stuff, dodge bad stuff. It's a mini game that exists in a million places, but you get to do it physically.
Yeah, so you can get mushrooms, you can hit question blocks. This was like during the wait. So you can pop these balloons while you're waiting, and it gets you used to it. I did not get all the gameplay because I was too busy wrecking Bowser Jr. so hard.
Yeah, we played pretty hard. And for this, as well as a lot of these other challenges that we've been describing, you do get coins. There was also like a block in the line where you got coins. There's been a lot of stuff.
And it all... So you choose your character, right? And so like when you choose your character, you choose your team. So I was Team Luigi. And what happens is every hour, the park-wide scoreboard resets. So any coins, points, stamps that you get throughout that hour goes towards your team. And if your team wins the hour, you get a special stamp. If your team wins the day, you get a special stamp. If you get one of the high scores of the day, you get a special stamp. Let me tell you something. Luigi is the least popular character. I knew he probably would be, but I love a loogie.
Now, that was the case on the scoreboard. However, our park insider did say, actually, the one that most of the people didn't want was Mario.
Yeah.
Our park insider did let us know, which makes sense. Who wants to be the basic character?
Well, it's funny because it's in contrast to Japan. In Japan, Yoshi is always number 1. Yoshi is the most popular Super Mario Brothers character in Japan across all time. And then number 2 is Pinocchio, who is Toad, and then number 3 is Mario. Here in Japan, least popular is Daisy. Over here, Daisy was like in top 3.
Daisy actually won at least the hour.
Oh, I just mean in terms of popularity.
Yeah. But that means there was also enough people in the park with it on that were active. Kaylee had a Daisy band and got a special stamp for winning an hour.
Yeah. Man, here's the thing. In America, we love that sassy princess.
So
we love the sassiest of princesses.
So Kaylee's not a huge Super Mario player, a huge Mario, fan overall. Likes it, had a wonderful time, but she wasn't sure which character to choose. And I was like, oh, how about Daisy? And she was like, I mean, it doesn't have to be like a femme character. And I was like, oh, no.
Oh, no, you're Daisy.
Oh, no. It's because Daisy's mean.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, okay.
Tell me more.
I agree. They had like no Daisy merch in the store whatsoever. We'll show you the store in a little bit. But there was like nothing in the store for
And
Daisy.
I think it's because right now they're going based off of business numbers that they have from Japan. And they're like, well, these are the sales that we have. And so we're going to create merch based on those sales. And then, they'll probably correct it for the American park when they have that data, is what I would imagine. So this is the end of the this is the end of the game. You get coins based on how many times you hit Bowser Jr. or enemies, and then you get the golden mushroom for your stamp book. It's one of 3 big trophies that you can get. One is for winning Mario Kart, and I don't know what the third one is for, but it's 3 main trophies. Now, next we were thinking we wanted to go to the Mushroom Cafe. Unfortunately, the Mushroom Cafe overbooked and had no reservations left for the day and closed early.
Yeah, so essentially, as we told you, we ran right from Mario Kart. That was at 5 o'clock. By 5:30, when we had gotten out of line for Mario Kart, we ran to the cafe. So that's 30 minutes into the 2-hour window. Now, everyone in the park at that time is on the same 2-hour window.
Yeah.
They're in, scheduled bits. So by 5:30, they had already stopped taking reservations for the night.
Yeah. and they wound up closing it. Everything closed at 7 instead of 9 that night because they couldn't get Mario Kart back up and the cafe was experiencing whatever the cafe was experiencing. So I don't know what happened to the people that had 7 to 9.
They might have let them in. I know they were clearing out the park.
Yeah.
But it might have been to let another batch in. I'm not certain that there weren't people coming in.
Oh, they were doing, because when we came in, they were doing overlaps. So people from 3 to 5 were still there, kind of milling around the park. And then afterwards, we had people that were coming in around 7. But then at 7:30, they cleared 7:30, 8 o'clock. They cleared everyone out of the park because everything was basically shut down. They were even yeah, if you want to go through the gift shop on your way out, you can, but go quick.
And we did. We went through the gift shop at some point.
Yep, this is the 1-Up Factory. It's very cute. The theming, once again, good. I would rate the merch as, I would say 5 of 7 merch.
Okay.
I would say the merch not terrible, but not mind blowing.
I'd give it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, it's pretty mid. They have
Those cups were good.
The cups were good. The Chef Toad character was good.
The Princess Peach merch was hidden all the way in the back of the store around a corner. You couldn't see it when you came in at all. Easily could have been missed, and it was only one tiny section.
Yeah. So
I mean, tiny, one shirt, 1 cup, 1 stuffed animal.
I would have everybody's 6 out of 9, 5 out of 7. I'd say 12 out of 17. I'd say 35 out of 48. So every character has essentially the same section, and it is a shirt, a hat, a tumbler, and then some sort of bag or something.
Except for Mario and Luigi, because there was Mario and Luigi stuff everywhere.
Yeah, there was a lot more Mario and Luigi stuff than anything else. There are plushies of each character. There was some extra stuff, extra little figures, they had the stackable Yoshis, and then they have a wall of Mario Kart themed stuff because obviously that's their main ride.
Yeah.
I got some shots of the Mario Kart pins and everything, but it was dark and my camera didn't want to focus, so whatever.
I bought a chocolate bar. That's the only thing that I bought. I bought a Mario chocolate bar. It was good. It was good.
And of course, they have Mario hats and Luigi hats.
I wanted the piranha plant stuffed animal. Here's what I looked at, though. I went and I touched it, and I wanted to see if it had a strong enough base to really stand up on like a desk or something. And the base is also stuffed, so like it can kind of stand. But if it had like a little like a hard bottom, I would have bought it.
I think in Japan they have the puppet one. Was it a puppet one or no?
I mean, that would be cool. I don't know.
I think it was just a regular plushie.
That would be awesome.
So in comparison to the stuff that we've seen from Japan, because people are asking, first of all, the Yoshi ride does not exist at Universal Studios Hollywood. I think it's going to exist in Orlando. Universal Studios Hollywood is built on a very small lot. And it's a very interesting layout, so I don't think they have the space for it. Number two, the cafe menu is very different. The cafe menu is basically there are three mains, and those mains are the Mario burger, which is like a kind of like a regular meatball marinara burger sub thing. There's the Luigi burger, which is chicken pesto. And then I believe there is a spaghetti and meatballs. After that, you've got, there's a Yoshi salad, a Yoshi fruit salad if you're vegetarian. And then the desserts are like a tiramisu cake, a Princess Peach funfetti like birthday cake.
Which I wanted so bad. It is a cupcake.
And then for like starters, they have like a caprese, they have garlic knots, and they have like a chicken salad. It all
looks very cute. We didn't get to see to compare what it looks like in person because obviously these are like product shots, but I would have loved to. That was one of the things we were most looking forward to, most definitely. I didn't get the chance to, unfortunately.
The piranha plant caprese is clever. This is sort of like what we thought it would be, though. Where like in Japan, everything is mushroom based. Or looks like a mushroom.
And here it's like burger.
Here it's like Mario loves a burger. Eat a Mario burger. So there you go. The Chef Toad short rib I was not aware of. That's pretty cute.
But what does the short rib have to do with Toad?
It looks like it's all a little mushy, I guess.
Does it?
Yeah. It's got the dots.
Is it because he's short?
Yeah, it's because he's short. He's a little short rib. That's what his friends call him, little short rib.
I wanted that freaking cupcake so bad.
Yeah, the Mount Beanpole cake is the one for me, the one that's a little diorama. That's real cute. And then the beverages, they have different things. Here's the thing. In Universal Studios Japan, there is the Canopio Cafe, the Mushroom Cafe, and then there's also like a juice and snack stand.
Yes.
That does not exist inside of Super Nintendo World in America. There is a juice stand or a soda stand outside the park main.
So that part was probably like the most interesting to me, and I think needs the most work. Obviously, again, you're there within a time limit. There are no ins and outs. So once you're in Super Mario World, you are in unless you are done. So there was a drink stand on the way in before we even got like in line to get in, essentially, that had them. But not only are there no themed drinks within Super Mario World, there are no drinks whatsoever. The only place that you can get a food or a beverage is a reservation-only cafe that most people were not able to get the reservation when you were there. And a lot of people aren't going to. It can only hold so many people.
Now, after the first year or so, when they stopped doing slots and things died down, that won't be so much of a problem. You'll be able to like go in and out and get drinks and food wherever you want. Right. But like during the opening, when it's like, hey, you're here, like we were there for 2 hours and we ran in because we had our slot. And by the end of the 2 hours, we were running around so much. We were like, I'm hungry.
Very
I'm
hungry.
Extremely hungry.
You get a chocolate bar from the gift shop.
We will say that outside though, at the snack stand. Now it's a snack stand that's shared with Transformers. It's out in kind of like a main area.
Yeah.
So half of the stuff is it's kind of themed to Nintendo right now, but half of the stuff is not Nintendo. But what you have are 3 flavored sodas. You have a green apple Luigi soda. You have like I think it's a cherry Mario Cola, and then you have a Princess Peach soda, which is very cute. If you get it, it doesn't have like the actual fruit bits and the cream like it has in Japan. It's more just like a regular soda. But it comes with the sippy straws that have mustaches on them, and then if you get the Princess Peach one, it has a little crown on it. So when you're sipping, it looks like you have like a mustache. It's pretty cute. Now, inside the cafe, they have a different. They have a lemon soda.
Those are the 3.
Yeah, these are the 3. It's very cute. I did not notice the scoops of like icy in when people were getting out of the line. They may have run out of that, or they may not be doing that anymore.
Interesting.
But or I may not have noticed it. But if you go back to the cafe menu, they have a special lemon soda that's on the cafe menu. That's the Superstar Lemon Squash. It's lemon soda with a mango star and then tropical jelly on it.
Very cute.
You can also get in the restaurant regular mushroom and 1-Up mushroom sippers, and I believe
I wanted one.
Yeah, and those I think are only in the restaurant,
and they're only $20, which I know I say only, and it's literally a cup. But the popcorn buckets were $40. So
yeah, so the popcorn buckets are stars, invincibility stars that light up,
which you also can only get actually outside of the like Super Nintendo world itself.
Right.
Which
So
is very interesting.
yeah, that stand was sodas and popcorn. So if you wanted the soda or the popcorn, you had to go to that stand. So if you wanted the light up star, now they had like light up star like totes in the 1-Up factory.
You could probably go and get refilled.
Yeah, I think they were the same ones. But it was kind of interesting. The food and beverage thing was a bit of a here's the thing. For crowd control and also just to keep people happy, you really want... There's Mario's dad with one of them.
Yeah.
Mario's dad loves a popcorn. For like flow in a park, what you basically want is you want your big ride. You want a smaller attraction that's usually like really kid focused. And then you want... a sit-down restaurant, and then you want a walk-up snack stand. If you have all of those things, you can usually, everybody's pretty happy. They couldn't fit all of those things into the Hollywood Park.
I think they had room for a snack stand.
I do too.
I think they had room for a snack stand. It's just not there.
I think there's something they could have gotten rid of, whether it was... because there's a bunch of stuff, you're thinking about putting a snack stand up against the wall or in the middle somewhere. Flow in and out of that area of the park is tough. Like I was looking at it and I was like,
interesting. I didn't find it tough.
Even when they were bringing, well, not for us, but like I was thinking from an operations standpoint, you get funneled in through that pipe. You get funneled out by the restrooms by Transformers and the Mummy. There's kind of one side entrance on the main floor that I saw where they're bringing characters in and out. So I'm thinking to myself, if they had to put a snack stand in the middle area, like replace one of those toadstool seating areas.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm wondering what it would be like to get supplies in and out of there, and if they were worried that would just like be too they would have to do it too often, and it would look too like not cool to have people like bringing those beverage carts back and forth. I don't know. I think they could have fit it somewhere.
I think so too. I think there just has to be something. Or like the Canopio Cafe could even have like a window on the side that is just like a walk up. Like that
would be great.
Like on the side of it, as opposed to the sit down restaurant. If there was just like a little like takeout snacky stand on the side of the Canopio Cafe, that would be awesome. I think that would work very well, but there just has to be an option to eat.
I think...
As a hypoglycemic person, I was getting a little stressed in there.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to leave. I don't want to miss this. This is my only 2 hours here. But also, I really wish I had something to boost my blood sugar. And it's only 2 hours, so like, hey, if you eat beforehand, if you just know there's not going to be food, we just have to have gone in.
But don't count on going to the Mushroom Cafe.
That's it. We had very much gone in counting on the Mushroom Cafe. Otherwise, 2 hours would be fine. Yeah, I think we really wanted to go to it and didn't think there would be that issue.
Yeah, I think that if this land does as well as they think it's going to do, I think some stuff that's adjacent to Nintendo World is going to be is going to be demolished.
And we have no insider information on this,
No.
I promise. But like, there's Transformers there, and like Transformers is not the franchise that it once was. Like, there's a new one coming out. Maybe it'll be the thing. But like, a lot of space in Universal Studios Hollywood is genuinely taken up by like Transformers stuff. And I could see them, and it's right next to it. I could see them taking out a little bit of Transformers and giving a little more to Nintendo.
Give a little bit to Mario as a treat. It was, listen, here's the thing. It was good.
It was so good.
It was good. And don't, you know, while we're doing our pros and cons here, just because we're sort of ending with some of our thoughts here on how to improve it, don't think that means we didn't love it.
Oh my God, we had the best time. Is there still any more footage, or is this all our footage?
That was the footage.
We did it.
We did it. So I think, you know, we want to go back again and actually do Mario Kart, obviously, and do the cafe, because I think those are kind of the two, like you're saying, main things.
I want to go to the cafe and I want to go on Mario Kart so bad. It opens next month, and we will absolutely be going right back.
Yeah.
Realistically, we won't go opening week for the sake of our sanity, but I'll be going sometime in February.
Yeah, I do. There was one more thing that we got to do that I didn't get footage of because I was too involved and excited. It was meeting Princess Peach.
That's true. We all got a photo with Princess Peach.
And we got to meet her. She was wonderful. The character speaks. The
mouth moves.
The mouth
on,
moves.
Like, the big head.
Yeah. So there I am bending the knee to Princess Peach. And here we are in love because we're in love.
Oh, Anthony, you have the group picture and I don't have it.
Oh, yeah.
You show them our little group picture.
We can show.
Send it to me and I'll handle it.
I think I didn't send it to you. Okay, I'll send it. So yeah, it was very, very good. But obviously, like, we got to know what that cart do.
We got to know what the cart.
What that cart.
Restaurant.
The restaurant, I was really like, I was genuinely bummed about. Like, you know, when I go on a trip, if there's like special little foodie things that are like themed.
Yeah.
I'm like when I went to Japan and I went to a character cafe, I was like, I will take the left side of the menu, please.
Yeah.
And I will take video of all of it.
And like, I'm not a foodie. I'm not super into food, but I love a theme. I'm a real sucker for a theme. And look, Nintendo is the reason I play games. It is one of the things that I have the most like emotional attachment and nostalgia for. So like, as soon as we walked in, I was so emotional. So of course, I wanted to try absolutely everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, like, I just wanted to see the walls of the cafe are screens where, like, you can see the little toads. It's supposed to look like an open kitchen. And all the toads are running around, like, cooking. And, like, they're like, order up!
So next time, we're very fortunate that we live in Los Angeles and
Yes.
can go back very, very soon. So it didn't also feel like the biggest issue that we didn't get to. I'm glad we got to see it. I'm glad we got to punch a bunch of blocks.
It was as far as theming and interactivity went, it was everything I could have dreamed.
So good.
I do want to say to people who came in late, we are talking about, we went to not just a preview, we went to a tech rehearsal. So the issues that we're talking about are exactly what they're working out right now.
Yeah.
And by next month, it's like when you go to the soft open of a restaurant and they're just like, servers are on fire and plates are getting thrown everywhere. Do you go to restaurants run by Muppets, or is that just me?
Oh, no, of course.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, so you go to the soft open and it's like crazy. And then by the time it's open, everything is like ironed out. So
Bree Grace, you brilliant mind, said they could do Luigi's Mansion for Halloween Horror Nights.
they could, cowards.
It'd be so good. I want it so bad.
I want it so bad.
So fucking bad. And it
Imagine-
would be something at Halloween Horror Nights that hits that range of like, it's not too scary. You'd get a little reprieve from it.
Replace the one in the Psycho house, the Norman Bates house, because the Norman Bates house looks the most like the manor from the first Luigi's Mansion.
It does.
And instead of doing a Psycho themed haunted house that year, which they don't really do anymore.
There is no haunted house. They just have Norman Bates standing outside. You don't get to go in the Psycho.
Oh.
And it's on the studio tour. It is not one of the...
Oh, in Orlando, they make it part of the thing.
So on the studio tour, which you get to get off of the tram and walk around at Horror Nights, which is the only time you get to do that, you get to just walk around the Psycho house. You walk past the hotel.
Gotcha.
The hotel, and then you walk past the Psycho house.
In Orlando, they have a Psycho-themed haunted house every year.
Yeah, you get to meet Norman Bates.
You get to meet... Did you smooch him?
I coulda.
He was right there. It was right there in smooching distance. If we had a little more time
to have a conversation about that, he was cute. But the thing that I'll say is, you know what I would get rid of for a Luigi's Mansion haunted house?
Anything?
I would get rid of the Jabberwockies dance experience that for some reason only exists at Universal's Halloween Horror Nights and not year-round at Universal, but also is not Halloween themed in any way.
But people love the Jabberwockies, or do they?
Anthony?
I don't know.
Anthony, if there was going to be anyone, I watched America's Best Dance Crew season 1. Mm-hmm. I enjoy the no, mind you, it's not the real Jabberwockies. Like this is another.
No, it's just an experience of the Jabberwockies. So
like look,
if you were around a Jabberwocky, this might be what it was like.
For those who don't know what I'm talking about, the Jabberwockies are a dance crew that wear like an all whited out mask that are incredible. A very, very famous dance crew that won the show America's Best Dance Crew and performed. They had like a Vegas show and stuff like that. But because they're like the Blue Man Group, but dancers. So this thing, I went like a few years ago because I was like, oh shit, like a Halloween themed dance show? Yeah, that sounds awesome. I actually would like that very much. If anyone was going to like a Jabberwocky show, it was literally going to be me. I love watching people
Should have went to Bill and Ted.
I love watching people dance.
Bill and Ted's the show.
So I go in and I sit down and I watch this show and I keep waiting for something spooky to happen. I'm waiting for anything Halloween themed to happen. And there is not an ounce of horror, of Halloween, of anything. It's just a dance show. It is entirely unthemed.
How much Luigi is in it?
Not an ounce.
Not an ounce of Luigi?
Not an ounce of Luigi. Now, I went to this a few years ago, so it's possible there's Luigi in it this year, but highly unlikely. Anyways, I can't believe that they do this every year. I thought maybe that was like a one-time thing that they did at the time. No, it's there every year.
Well, there you go. Don't go to that.
It's wild.
Don't go to that. Replace it with Luigi's Mansion.
Put Luigi's Mansion.
Put a Luigi in it.
Put a little Luigi in it.
Put a little Luigi in it.
Gross.
Give it a swirly.
It's the same thing used to be the Fear Factor show. Do you remember that?
Okay. I feel like we've gone totally inside baseball on Universal Studios now.
The whole thing has been inside the theme park, Anthony. Why is this?
No, it's just like I just feel like we're talking about like the mechanics of a Jabberwockies and like and all this stuff. I'm just like, that's all. I'm just. But we do need they don't sell Loogie boards. They need more Luigi's Mansion. They need more everything. I say rip out half that park and put Nintendo in. That's what I say.
Yeah.
What am I like? What's missing? Nintendo. You know what they got?
Not enough Nintendo.
Not enough Nintendo. Like what? Like what's there at Universe? Like,
yeah.
You know. Probably Transformers, I guess.
I would love more Nintendo. I would love some of it to be Animal Crossing. Obviously, I think an Animal Crossing land would be fantastic. I don't see that happening here. I could see it happening in Japan, realistically, but probably not here. I would love it, though. I would give anything for an Animal Crossing area.
Yeah. The rumor in Japan is Donkey Kong next.
Which is fine.
Which is fine.
I'm not particularly interested
Which is fine. I feel like you got to go straight from Mario to Pokemon or like Zelda. Although I guess maybe Donkey Kong will be more recognizable to kids because of the movie.
Maybe. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Maybe kids will just really, really love Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, and Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong will become the canonical Donkey Kong for the next 40 years.
Kanonky Kong.
The Kanonky Kong. There is other news, I guess, this morning.
Oh.
I guess we can talk about other things.
Yeah, I guess we got a whole show to do. Hey, remember last week when we shared a very wholesome Neopet story about someone losing a very valuable item and the community working together to get this item back to them? It was nice. How often do we talk about Neopets in the news, right?
Honestly, if you had your way, we'd find a way.
Well, today I do.
Whoa!
Neopets facing a class action lawsuit over a huge data breach.
Oh no!
Compromising the personal information of 69 million players. Nice.
They're asking for $420 million. Blaze it.
So a big oopsie. There was a breach in July of 2022 after a alleged hacker posted on a forum that they were looking to sell the Neopets database and source code, as well as live access to the game's backend system. The hacked information included names, email addresses, passwords, and other personal information of Neopets account holders.
Who, by the way, are mostly children.
Now, there was no financial data in this. Credit cards and stuff used to buy like the dollars in Neopets were not impacted. It was just usernames and passwords and emails, which is enough. So now they're in trouble. So they also provided an update on this that said the hacker had access to the system for an extended period of time, which also doesn't look good for them. The hacker was looking to sell the data for 4 Bitcoin, around $100,000 at the time. That's actually not very much.
That's not very
all
much.
of the data on Neopets and access to the live backend.
Do you know how many Neo points you can get for that?
Hold on, we did this math. Let me do the inflation tracker again.
So one of the things that was brought up that I think is somebody asked is, whoa, Neopets has 69 million players? I don't believe that's active. I would imagine that's the database starting from when Neopets started. So like as old
just accounts that still exist.
Yeah, just accounts that have not been deleted. Like just since players have been creating accounts on Neopets, 69 million. So I mean, who knows how many active players they have, but that's a bummer because like we're saying, most of these accounts are children.
As of June 2020, which is the last update I have, the company Jumpstart estimated that Neopets has 100,000 daily active users and 1.5 million monthly active players.
Yeah.
That was in 2020.
Man, how many of those emails do you think are embarrassing, like preteen emails that have since been changed? Like nobody's using those. Like so many of them are like at Hotmail and stuff.
98%.
Yeah. It's all like XXX punker boy 6969 XXX at Hotmail.
Absolutely. Every time. It's just your
Drake and
MySpace
Josh
URL.
Rule at GeoCities.
It's kissmeicarly at hotmail.com. Anyways, big oops. That I hope. Here's what I hope.
What do you hope?
I hope Neopets doesn't go down over lawsuit money.
No, not after they recovered from Scientology and advertising to children. What if, this can't be what takes Neopets down. They're too strong. Nothing destroys them.
That would be such a bummer.
What's the Neopet equivalent to Pikachu? Is there one? Like a type of pet that's like, that's like
the most popular.
That's the canonical.
The one that looked the most similar to Pikachu.
Oh no. What's the canonical Neopet?
Ooh, that's a very good question. I think everyone's going to have a different idea of that. I don't know if there is like one specific Neopet that is really the star. If I go on to Neopets, I have like the few that I think of, but they're the ones that I had.
Now, you know you're not allowed to play Neopets during the show.
That is actually not a rule. But I will show you this, which is very funny. I just went to log on to Neopets today. Neopets becoming safer. All Neopets are required to reset their passwords to help their accounts be secure. Now, mind you, I signed on to Neopets 3 days ago during the show, but it's very funny that right now they're making us do
that is the most kid-friendly PR speak for we lost all of your personal information, you minor.
Please don't get mad at us.
That's wild.
Popular Neopets.
Well, I'll tell you what, Saige, even though Neopets can never die, it was real easy to take out Earth's mightiest heroes.
I have an answer to you really quick before we move on.
Okay.
Of what the most popular Neopet is, and I never would have guessed it.
That was such a good transition. We'll do it again. We'll do it again. But you do this.
Finish it.
You do this, and then I'll do the transition again.
This is who I would have guessed.
Akara.
It's the dog and the cat are the most popular. One that looks like dog, one that looks like cat.
A Gellert. Gerlert?
That's not what that looks like.
Or Gerpert? A Jub.
I had a Jub.
I think I like a Jub. Why does he look? Why does that Jub look like somebody hit it?
I don't know why they're choosing these weird fan art pictures. It's fucking wild.
Do they always look like they've been punched in the eye?
No.
Why would you punch a Jub?
I don't know why.
What did Jub ever do to this person?
Jub is like got its like head split.
What
Oh my god! What are these other things?
What did that Jub ever do to anybody? Yeah, that looks great.
That's what a Jub. No, that's what a Jub looks like. It's cute.
They like coconut and garlic apparently together. I love a Jub. What a weird palette. Yeah, Jub's my favorite. Are these illegal? Can you do back alley Jub fights in Neopets? Is that maybe what that was?
Maybe post breach.
Anyway, Neopets can never die, but the Avengers can, and they have, and they're done and they're over. Goodbye, Avengers.
For context, we mean Marvel's Avengers video game.
Yeah, Crystal Dynamics a couple days ago posted on their blog that the final update is coming. The snap has come to the continuity. Unfortunately, the snap has hit most of Square Studios.
Well, and that's because everyone's playing Marvel Snap instead.
So they say, to our amazing community, after 2.5 years and introducing 12 of Earth's mightiest heroes, following update 2.8 on March 31st, 2023, we will no longer add new content or features to Marvel's Avengers. All official support for the game will end on September 30th. So basically what's going down, the way they break this down is in March, they're not adding any new content. The store goes down. Everybody's credits that they currently have get converted into other forms of in-game currency. All unlockables, costumes, characters, things like that will be given to the community for free. Then they'll be kind of like watching over the servers and stuff until September 30th. After that, they do not guarantee anything, but they say that local and multiplayer should still be available as long as you're not doing anything that requires the Avengers servers. Now, I don't know what that to me sounds like multiplayer is going to go away.
As of September.
That's what it sounds like.
I don't know. That's just support for it. I think of all these old games that still have multiplayer, but I just see it dying. I don't see multiplayer going down in September.
Well, it depends on how much their mission structure is based on speaking to the server. And they do have like rotating special events like every 2 weeks where I would imagine those are going to go away or they're going to stop rotating. They did say that all events will rotate every 2 weeks from now until end of life for the game.
No new events.
Yeah, I just, Avengers is a story of a game that they snatched defeat from the jaws of victory on that one.
Yeah.
They really went in wanting too much of the service stuff, of the micropayment stuff.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really what people wanted out of an Avengers game. And then, I've talked to people that still play it every week and they're like, we love it, but I still wouldn't call the gameplay tight. I still wouldn't call the controls amazing.
Yeah.
Especially when you have like other action games to compare it to, like people in particular, like when Spider-Man came out, there was all of this controversy. This is one of the other big controversies that killed him. It was like, you can't have Spider-Man unless you buy it on PlayStation, which made sense from a business perspective, but sucked from a player.
We understand it from a rights perspective.
Yeah.
But as a person playing the game, that sucks.
Yeah. So, and then when Spider-Man finally came, here was this big controversial thing that only PlayStation players are getting. Spider-Man came out. He played like great value Spider-Man. He played like
Smart and Final Spider-Man.
Yeah, Dollar General Spider-Man came to the Avengers because we're over here playing the Insomniac games and we're like, this is not what Spider-Man feels like. It's the idea of getting together online with your friends and playing a campaign as different Avengers. Good idea. doing things where like the online is grind for Google Gops to get your gigas to translate into costume points to get a nameplate for your character is like, that's not what we want.
No, thank you.
So it's kind of a bummer. It was one of the most expensive games ever made. It was supposed to be at least a 10-year game. Whenever anybody says something's supposed to be a 10-year game, I go, you should not plan on that.
How long did it make it? What was the release?
2.5 years.
2.5.
Marvel's Avengers made it 2.5 years. When you think about 10-year games, I mean, there are a bunch of those, but you can probably count them on one hand. It's going to be things like your World of Warcrafts. It's going to be things like
Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 14, Destiny.
Yeah.
If you count Destiny 1 and 2 as one Destiny, which they made me pay twice, so I don't know.
Which is the same thing with like some of the Call of Duties. It's like, yeah, I mean, if you did the franchise, sure, but not an individual game.
I think planning for a game to be
Minecraft.
Planning for a game to be alive for a decade is an ambitious plan.
It is. And here's the thing. I want games that I can play for a decade. I love the ambition in that plan. I think that's wonderful. So I'm never like upset when I see people say that they'd like to keep updating this for 10 years. I want that to be the case. Hell yeah.
But that usually also comes with, we want this to be a game for 10 years. The first thing I think in my head is, how are you going to get money out of me for 10 years?
Right. Yeah.
How are you going to get money out of me for 10 years?
Hey, some of those have done it successfully. It's very interesting to see.
Some of them say, well, we have an answer. It's give Superman a Gatling gun to shoot Rick and Morty.
Right.
That tracks. It's not, well, you can get a different helmet for Thor if you play for 20 hours.
Right.
That's the other thing is midway through Marvel's Avengers, you remember they did a rebalance update, and that rebalance update made everything harder for everyone.
Yeah.
They only added to the grind of Avengers.
Scott Davis said, hold on, why did I just disappear from my brain? Scott Davis said GTA Online, obviously. GTA Online. What is the money structure on GTA Online, actually? Because I'm not sure.
You buy those shark bucks. And
what do you do with your shark bucks?
You take the shark cards and you buy different vehicles and cosmetics and things like that.
Now, Saffron also said Dead by Daylight is heading there. They're on year 7. And I think Dead by Daylight has a really great payment structure. You buy new characters as they come out. And I'm very willing to do that. It's I think it's a $30 game up front for Dead by Daylight. That's always, and like the pacing at which they release them has always been comfortable for me to buy new survivors and killers, buy cosmetics, stuff like that. That's very fun to me.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think for a game like Avengers, which by the way, I did finally play like a chunk of the Avengers single player campaign, which I really liked. I think the writing was good. I think focusing on Kamala Khan was a great idea. They did not go free to play. They had so many micropayments in that game. And they did not go free to play until like 6 months ago. They went on Game Pass or something like that. If you're coming that aggressive with micropayments out of the gate, don't try to sell me on a full retail price game. Remember, like by the time that game was 3 weeks old, they were giving it away. I got 3 copies of Avengers. Because I was like, I'm not paying $60 for Avengers. And I think a lot of people thought that because they were like, this is mostly online multiplayer micropayment. And within a month, they had to start giving Avengers away.
Yeah.
I got it with a processor. I got it with a video card. I got it 3 times.
Yeah.
I was just like, man.
That's what I think. I think Dead by Daylight, $30 base game. I think $30 to spare. Because I know I'll spend money on it eventually, but I don't have to in the beginning. I can play it. And new things come out that have like good tie-ins. I'm sure it's the way a lot of people feel about Fortnite, though Fortnite is free to play initially, where they're like, yeah, this is a pop culture tie-in I enjoy.
Yeah, and also like games that are making it are very smart about, like when I think about Destiny, Destiny was like, well, we're going free to play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you bought the game, we're going to give you a bunch of stuff. But we're going to go free to play because this just makes so much. Like, we've made the money back on the boxed copies of Destiny we sold 5 years ago. Like, you need to be open to that stuff. And I don't know, Avengers, and I mean the other thing, the missteps that they made from the beginning. When that first Avengers trailer came out, and we all looked at those character designs, and we were like, "Who is that?" We were like, "Wait, it's me, Iron Man," and I was like, "Is it? Are you
like Tony Stark Iron Man?
Are you sure? Are you sure? It's me, Steve Rogers." I'm like, "Nah, you're someone's dad. You just look like someone's dad."
Steve Rogers was the most egregious.
Steve Rogers was bad. Steve and Natalia were bad.
Yeah. Steve Rogers looked like the Matt Damon Steve Rogers.
Yeah, Steve Rogers definitely.
Matt Damon can just play all of the characters. He could be Thor. He can just.
Steve Rogers just looked like a guy who played high school football.
Right.
And was now just like a pretty good dad.
Yeah.
You know, he got a little soft over time, but you could tell that at one time he was an athlete, you know? And it's like, if you can't get the real, if you can't get the canonical actors and performers that we think of, don't do a hyper realistic Avengers game.
Yeah, if it was a little cartoonier, I think it would have been very easy to excuse.
Yeah, but
it looked like people, but not the correct people that we think of in this time because the MCU is so big.
They lucked out in that Miss Marvel didn't exist on TV yet.
Yeah.
Kate Beaton Hawkeye. Well, Kate Bishop Hawkeye. Sorry, Kate Beaton is the cartoonist behind Hark a Vagrant. Kate Bishop is Hawkeye, and I think they snuck that out right before the show, but it was kind of like, and then they lucked out in that Peter Parker can wear the mask all the time and be like, right. I'm not going to tell people who I am. Although the voice that they got for Peter Parker. No shade to this guy, because I'm sure he was directed to sound this way. Ooh, that Spider-Man was rough in Marvel's Avengers. Did you hear him?
No.
Oof.
Blade of Creation's like, I don't think it's on the devs that they couldn't get the likeness for those people. Sure, but what we're saying is different choices could have been made.
Right, that's what we're... No, when the devs are told, we can't get Robert Downey Jr. to show up to voice a video game like we could in 2006.
We at no point actually blamed the devs in this.
But then what I would say as the creative director or the director of the game is, okay, well, do we go hyper realistic then if we can't get these likenesses, and we have to make sure that these likenesses are legally distinct enough. We can't make it so he almost looks like Robert Downey Jr. We have to make sure Robert Downey Jr.'s lawyers don't call us and go, hey, get my face out of the game.
Right.
So they could have done something a little more cartoony, and that is like... The likeness had little to no reason why the game was a failure. No, but remember, the original point that we were saying is when that first trailer dropped, it gave us a bad impression from Go because of that design.
And then, of course, the game came out buggy as hell, had a lot of issues, and it was just nearly unplayable in the first couple weeks.
Yeah.
And those first couple of weeks are very important for a game.
So we were just saying things started bad, continued poorly.
Yeah, Saffron said with Midnight Suns, they just went with a comic book appearance. There was a couple of people earlier in the chat that said that they were loving Midnight Suns right now, and I think that that's a great alternative and a great comparison.
I can't XCOM.
No?
I'm not an XCOM guy.
I haven't played it yet.
Even Mario and Rabbids, like, I just can't, strategy, like, it takes like a little bit. Strategy is just not, turn-based is not my thing.
Sure, absolutely.
You know, or the semi-real-time strategy is not my thing.
Well, that is the update, and maybe the last update we'll ever have to do for Marvel's Avengers, the video game.
If you haven't tried it, now's the time. It's on Game Pass. They're giving all the free shit away. If you just want to play through the campaign, I think some of the campaign stuff was really well written. RIP Marvel's Avengers.
But games that are getting updates, very exciting to me personally, is Cult of the Lamb.
So good.
So we knew that an actual update was coming. They did a recent update that was mostly just like a little visual update with a couple of things, but we knew that a larger update was coming soon. They said that they have two, right? Yeah, two. The first of two major updates is coming soon. Right now, it's just early 2023, which we are already early 2023, and it is called Relics of the Old Faith.
Yeah, so we this is the first one, and they say that on the roadmap here, which they posted on their Twitter, Relics of the Old Faith is going to focus on endgame content, additional combat depth, new enemies, more accessibility settings, and more. Then there's like a little questiony question in between Relics of the Old Faith and Content Expansion 2, which is going to be mid-2023, which is going to focus on additional cult depth. Then it's going to add story elements, more customization, and even more accessibility settings. So this is great. They have the Anthony update and then the Saige update.
Yeah. I think that's very cool. No, genuinely though, I think that like an improvement on the runs, just like switching them up a little bit. The game, I think, is very, very fun, but I could see some people finding it repetitive after a while, especially if you've gotten to end game. They did say that there is going to be something updated to the end game as well in this article. So
I think one of its strengths, which we talked about before, is that the combat was just deep enough to hook somebody who wants the combat, but light enough to where if you were more into the management, it was okay.
Absolutely.
And I think the management was the same way. It could get a little deeper if you wanted, but if you didn't want to spend too much time managing your cult, you didn't have to.
Unless you're like me and you have a million cult members. Right. I have so many.
But that's the nice thing is now that people have been playing this game for a year, they've gotten the main audience they're going to get. And now they're like, how do we keep people hooked and maybe bring some new people in now that those players that were light on combat or were light on management understand those loops, we can deepen them. And then we can bring in more people who said, these loops aren't deep enough for me.
Yeah.
So I think this is a very smart roadmap for them. A very smart roadmap. I love Cult of the Lamb.
Every time we talk about Cult of the Lamb, it just makes me want to go play Cult of the Lamb after the show. It's that good of a game.
It's that good of a game.
It made my top 3 games of the year.
Yeah, it did. It did. And you could see when she mentioned it, Blessing and I exhaling in relief because
it just, thank goodness someone did.
Yeah, because it just missed ours. In more, oh my stars. In games that are launching and updating soon news, Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6 had their limited beta. Street Fighter 6 is 6 months from release. Street Fighter 6 has a huge community of online players that are not supposed to be able to play Street Fighter 6 right now.
That's a hell of a headline, Anthony.
Yeah, I mean, that's fun. That's fun. VG 24/7. I see what you're doing there. There is a cracked version of the beta that is going around, and there are sort of unofficial online rooms. There are Discord servers. There are modders already. People are playing the hell out of Street Fighter 6, and Capcom is like, yo, you got to stop playing Street Fighter 6.
Stop, it's not done.
It's not finished. You got to knock it off.
No.
You got to be cool. And they're like, no, we're not going to be cool.
We won't.
We're actually just going to keep going. So, I mean, a lot of people are talking about this, and the writer for VG 24/7 is, after about an hour of searching, I was able to find both a direct link to the Street Fighter 6 beta files, instructions on how to get them running, a Discord server where like-minded people were more than happy to help people out getting the crack. It has a serious crack problem. Get it? In no time at all, we were able to verify that Street Fighter 6 exists and is openly downloadable. They sent out emails to people, Capcom sent out emails to people that they detected jumping back into the beta, and they were saying, hey, if you're getting back into the beta, you're breaking the terms and conditions, and you should stop. You should knock it off. But a lot of those people, like, they're not using their main email. No. They're not using their main. They're going through a VPN. They're like, oh, I understand that I shouldn't be playing Street Fighter 6.
I didn't think I was allowed when I started.
No, I understand. You're sending an email to not my real email, Capcom at hotmail.com. Did you just send an email to kissmeiCarly at hotmail.com? Because I haven't used that email since Neopets.
And the whole internet's got it.
So this is a huge problem for Capcom because, like, number one, stop playing their game for free. But number two, people are training on an unbalanced beta of this game.
Yeah. And also, by the time that you get your legal copy, everyone's going to be so good and you're going to suck.
Oh, you're going to be so bad compared to these people.
Part. We talk about this all the time. Anthony and I talk about this. Whenever like a new shooter comes out or a new like online competitive game, we always miss that first like couple weeks just because, look, we're busy. We don't have a chance necessarily. And if you miss those first couple weeks, everyone gets really good. And then you're trying to jump in and you're new and you're like, shit, all of you have skills. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah, and with a fighting game, ooh, that's a lot. So you know, this is a big problem. People are already modding. They're putting characters in. They're putting costumes in. They've figured all of this stuff out.
The Durka said, "Is this beta version of the full game, or is this a slice of it?"
This was the beta preview. Yeah, so this was
the entire game.
Yeah, the entire game. This is the game as it existed during the preview. So, I mean, obviously it's not finished and there might be modes that they're adding, but this is a pretty complete Street Fighter 6 and it's only 6 months away from release. I have, hey.
Yeah, you want to talk about that?
No, let's not talk about that.
We can.
I mean, let's actually talk about it. Because hey, Saige?
Yeah.
We're talking about 3 big hacks. What do you think is the biggest hack we've talked about today? Is it the Neopets hack of 69 million email addresses? Is it the Street Fighter 6 beta crack hack? Or is it that Sprigatito has released the no-fly list onto the internet?
Oh.
Fucking Sprigatito posted a picture of the entire no-fly list from the TSA.
Oops.
Yeah, the TSA's no-fly list is one of the most important ledgers in the United States. You'd be forgiven for thinking that list was a tightly guarded state secret, but no. Swiss hacker known as Maya Arson Crime W got a hold of a copy of the list from a few years ago, not the most updated list.
Maya Arson Crime W.
Yeah.
God, that's good. My next D&D character's name is going to be Maya Arson Crime.
Maya Arson Crime W
is my
rogue. Maya Arson Crime W is my favorite Gundam wing. It's a spinoff.
I like to think the W is for West. Maya Arson Crime West.
So here's the thing. You'd think that this was some sort of like crazy super hacker thing that they did. No. There was a regional airline that just had the no-fly list unprotected on their server. Because the TSA distributes the no-fly list to airlines.
That makes sense.
Some regional puddle jumper airline that does like commuter flights doesn't know cybersecurity. And they just had the list. They had the list. So Maya Arson Crime W announced the discovery with the photo and screenshot of Sprigatito finishing the hacks.
So good.
You would have thought it would be Quaxley.
Yeah?
You'd think it would have been Quaxley who was gonna like...
Quaxley doing a climb?
Quaxley do a climb. And Quaxley's so proud of themselves.
Fue Coco would never.
Fue Coco couldn't. Fue Coco has one front tooth.
He doesn't know what's going on.
He has one front tooth. He would never do it. He would never do it.
I also think Quaxley's a cop. I'm sorry.
Quaxley is not a cop.
I'm sorry. I'm with Lanky Dragoon on this. That's why.
Quaxley is canonically a drag performer. Quaxley can't be a cop.
Canonically a drag performer.
You're going to look at the Quaxley evolutions and tell me that's not a drag performer?
I am. It's not canonically. Quaxley is gay. Now gay, we claim. But the divide in this is so funny because you've got Lanky Dragoon saying, I chose Quaxley as my starter, but that duck is for sure a cop. Here's the thing, Anthony. People grow and change, okay? Quaxley may be a cop. Quaxley's final evolution maybe realized why they had all that pent-up aggression. why they were such a snitch, you know? That's a grown and evolved Quaxley.
I just don't.
What's the name of the final evolution?
Not a cop.
That's not a cop. I agree with you. That's not a cop. Little Quaxley with the pompadour.
Quackavall. Thank you. Thank you.
Quackavall has grown and learned.
But Sprigatito, I mean, maybe Sprigatito is the one. I'm just saying.
Cats are always up to something.
You know, and like, it is always when it's like a little kid that gets caught hacking. It's always like a little kid who looks very like this, like, oh, I'm just a nice guy. I don't know. I just wanted to see what a computer could do. Oh, golly. Oh, jeepers.
Oh, I didn't even mean to. Oops. I didn't know. What is this list?
What? I didn't know what I was doing. Really? Because it looks like you sold those credit card numbers. Oh, jeepers.
I did?
I just wanted points for Pokemans and Neopets.
I sold it for 4 Bitcoin.
For 4 Bitcoin. So yeah, I love that I just do love that we live in an age where the announcement of the release of the TSA's no-fly list comes with a smiling Sprigatito in front of a laptop, just like, oops, I'm just a cat. I walked across the keyboard and here's your list. Oopsie doopsie.
Did not mean to.
Did not mean to. Did a fucky wucky.
Whoopsie. Let's talk about little movie shows.
Little movie shows. Hey, what do you got to do to make $2 billion? Maybe just try to drown a couple women.
And tell weird stories of colonization. That is because Avatar: Way of the Water has made $2 billion at global box office.
It is now the 4th highest grossing movie in the world, but this article was written a day ago and they estimated that it would hit 3rd place within that time. This will be the highest grossing movie of all time, which will mean James Cameron will have 2 of the 3 highest grossing movies of all time.
Hey guys.
All 3 maybe?
What's going on? I thought we all agreed that this movie was not a hit. I know a lot of people are like, it's better than the first one, but I've not heard anyone say it was amazing. People were like, oh, it's very visually impressive and it was better than the first one.
All anybody's telling me is go see it in 48 frames in 3D. Because that's what makes it worth it. And that to me tells me exactly what I need to know, which is this is not a great movie. It
shouldn't have to be so hard to make it worth it.
This is not a great movie. Though I was talking to Jeff Kanata about it, and he was talking about seeing it. And if I don't see this in the theater in the 48 frames with the 3D, I'll feel like I feel about Gemini Man, which is I wish I had seen Gemini Man in the 120 frame a second in the movie theater.
You're going to feel that way about this movie?
Just because, well, Gemini Man's not a good movie either. But
seen it, I don't know.
But 120 frames a second, I mean, there was only one time that was going to happen.
Sure.
Ang Lee said, do it in 120 frames a second. They're like, Ang Lee, is this really what you want to say? I'm not going to make the movie unless you do 120 frames a second.
Okay, instead, let's talk about this fun fact that Skywalker just dropped in the chat and said Zoe Saldana has been in 4 out of 6 of the movies that have made $2 billion. Now that's what we should be talking about. Let's leave James Cameron out of this and let's talk about Zoe Saldana.
The answer, if you want to make one of the highest grossing movies of all time, according to the data,
is put Zoe Saldana in it.
Put Zoe Saldana in it. What color do you need to paint her? It doesn't matter.
Always painted.
You should paint her a color.
She's been green, she's been blue.
But you could put her in. It doesn't matter. That's the thing, is it doesn't matter what color you paint Zoe Saldana. She's going to bring home $2 billion for you.
I have the utmost respect for Zoe Saldana.
So what we've got Avengers Infinity War at $2.048 billion.
Okay.
We've got Star Wars The Force Awakens at 2.064. Okay. Avatar: The Way of the Water just passed The Force Awakens. Okay. Which means The top 3 movies, the only movies that have made more than Way of the Water are Titanic, James Cameron, $2.2 billion. Avengers Endgame, not James Cameron. But then number 1, the first Avatar, $2.9 billion. James Cameron, no matter how you shake this, has 2 of the 3 highest grossing movies of all time and will again and still after this.
Yeah. Also, Chi-Town, I'm not familiar with what that is, the Nina Simone fiasco with Zoe Saldana. We'll just gonna put it for the record. I'm not aware of that at this time.
I'm gonna put it out there. I don't know much about Zoe Saldana at all.
I don't know Zoe Saldana on a personal level.
I don't know.
I'm not on a first name basis with Zoe Saldana.
No. I would say this. She's in 4 of the 6 movies that made $2 billion.
Those are the facts.
And that's what we said.
Those are the facts.
Demo Nacho is saying if you rank them by how good they are, how good the movies are, sure. But we're not doing that. We're talking about what blue cats bring home the bacon.
We're talking about cold, hard cash.
We're also talking about cold, wet women in water tanks being drowned for $2 billion.
Rough. Hey. Hey, Anthony.
Hey.
There's a lot of good water movies. There's also an astonishingly high number of bad water movies.
Waterworld, which is perfectly fine. But hey,
Makes both lists.
if we want to go back to Inside Baseball, I could talk a lot about the Waterworld stunt show at Universal
Very
Studios.
Let's talk about Aquaman.
Now, in Aquaman, no one got in the water. They were on Peter Pan wires. And they were doing this. And let me tell you something.
No one drowned.
No one drowned and looked amazing.
That's what everyone has to say about Aquaman. Usually when you bring up Aquaman, the first thing that people think is, looked amazing. Let's talk about it. Now, we know the DCEU obviously is having a big change in direction. James Gunn and Peter Safran are like, we're purging this shit and starting over. It's all starting over. Except for the Batman.
We could keep Ezra Miller.
Like, we could keep the Flash and the Batman.
Yeah. Why not? And the Batman's not going to be part of the main thing. It's going to be its own thing. But don't worry, we're here to clean up, organize, and make the DCEU make sense. What are we going to do? We're going to start with a clean slate, except for Batman, who's off to the side.
And except for the Flash, who's kind of finishing the previous story if they don't go to prison again.
And also is probably going to stay in for future films because that little rascal just broke and entered their way into our hearts. That little rascal kidnapped the child of my dreams.
Kidnapped my inner child. I gotta get it back.
And we gotta keep them in these movies.
Okay, so then, so that's pretty clear. I mean, there's the possibility, of course, of Peacemaker, but we don't know about that yet.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll stay, maybe he'll go. But also, Jason Momoa could keep being Aquaman.
Basically, they just said Jason Momoa is still gonna be He's still gonna be Aquaman. He's still gonna. So what James Gunn is saying is, what James Gunn and Peter Safran are saying is they just personally dislike Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot for some reason. To the point where they're gonna make Henry Cavill say, I'm back as Superman, and then go, oh, apparently I have to also announce I'm not back as Superman. It's like they wanted to give Superman a wedgie. It's like these nerds were like, we could make Superman look silly. Should we do it?
To do that.
Should we do it?
Absolutely.
Gal Gadot probably wouldn't date us. Since she's happily married.
She's out.
She's out.
So this is not confirmed as of this time, but Jason Momoa posted great news with Warner Bros. Amazing. Wish I could tell you, but here it is. Peter, I love you. James, I love you. To the future, to the future. That sure sounds like he's gonna do more Aquaman.
I think he's Batmite.
He's going off to the Batman universe.
Jason Momoa is gonna be Batmite in the Robert Pattinson Batman.
In the Battinson.
He's gonna come up, he's gonna pop up, and he's gonna be a little mini Mishy. And he's gonna pop up and he's gonna be like, just something along the way. Ooh.
Why are you singing? Why are you singing? Stop it. Batmite, knock it off.
Ave Maria.
You know, that song is allowed, but you have to do it 4 more times.
Ave Maria.
Nothing makes sense. And it's very funny.
Now, Speedpunk 1996 says, what if he comes back as Lobo, who he should have been from Go?
Sure.
Should have been Lobo.
Maybe they're just going to move Jason Momoa into a different role. That's genuinely possible.
Listen,
I actually think that's entirely possible.
There's precedence for this. It's called the Evans Rule, where you can come from one bad superhero movie into a good superhero movie as a different character.
But hear me out. That's still so fucked for Henry Cavill.
Yo, Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot just over here like, I'm sorry, did we not make you billions of dollars?
I didn't kidnap any children.
Did we not? Like,
I haven't punched a single fan.
I literally have never choke slammed a woman at a comic book convention. I just sit at home and paint miniatures. I just wanted one chance to do it right. The fuck?
What is going on?
The fuck?
What is going on?
The fuck? Now,
Shambly asked, wasn't Wonder Woman the best of the DCU movies? I'm going to say Birds of Prey, personally, and then I'm going to say Wonder Woman, the first one, and then I'm going to say Shazam. And those are my only lists.
For me,
there's nothing else on the list.
For me, it's Birds of Prey, Shazam, Wonder Woman.
Okay, that's fair. But Birds of Prey is it for me.
So, yeah, that's so fucked up. It's really starting to feel like they do have a personal vendetta against certain people, and who knows what's going on behind the scenes. Look, when people are like, well, The Rock is out as Black Adam, all of the behind the scenes stuff that leaked, which a lot of stuff leaked about Black Adam, and that means a lot of people were unhappy making Black Adam. A lot of stuff leaked about The Rock being extremely difficult. And who knows? That's one side of a story. We also know that it's hard to fight for a creative vision in the DCU. You know, so who knows?
Here's what I think. Everybody rejoiced. They said the DCU is saved. James Gunn has got it covered. We trust James Gunn. And I said, no, it's not. No, it isn't. It's not saved. It's the DCEU.
I'm sitting in front of you in a Star Labs sweatshirt. And I am telling you, this is fucked. I'm telling you, this is fucked. You can't keep summing others. Hey, we know how the old regime treated Ray Fisher. And we know that the best stuff in the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League was the Cyborg story.
Yes.
Where's justice for Ray Fisher, whose only crime was coming out and saying, I was abused by these people?
Yeah. Where's the Cyborg movie?
He can't come back.
Where's the Cyborg movie?
We still haven't heard shit about Harley Quinn.
They haven't told us what's going on with Harley fucking Quinn. But here's the thing. They haven't mentioned any women.
No.
They haven't mentioned any women.
Women? What do you mean? We're talking about superheroes, says James Gunn and Peter Safran. Listen, we'll get to the women. We understand women are important. Right now, we have to decide whether we're going to bring back this literal kidnapping criminal with a baby face who we think is real good deep down. we think deep down they deserve maybe another chance. We'll get to Gal Gadot, who made us money and was unproblematic.
Right.
Well, I mean, to work. I'm going to say for them to work with.
Sure.
I'm going to say for them to work with.
Absolutely. Hey, we can say Zionist. Sure.
Zionists.
Kidnapped someone? No.
Yeah. I was raised in a society that sort of indoctrinated me into a little bit of beliefs.
You're a full-grown woman. You are responsible for being a Zionist. I'm not going to like. I'm not going to give you any.
And I've just no. I was born into this that indoctrinated me, and I've chosen to stay indoctrinated rather than question my beliefs. I chokeslam and kidnap people before breaking into their homes.
Mostly women, specifically women.
Yeah. Yeah, a bad take on Palestine may not be the same as actually kidnapping a child.
Yeah, if we really thought about it, it might be,
saying that you'd like to do the character closer to the source material because you're a big fan of this stuff is maybe not as bad or as hard to work with as somebody who disappears for months at a time because they're on the run from law enforcement. The man just wants to paint minis and build a gaming PC and play a character the right way. He's a theater kid nerd who does his research on characters and builds PCs.
And now, I don't know what it's like to work with Henry Cavill. I have no idea. No one knows. Not any of us, for sure. Many people know, but not us.
Not us. Let me call Millie Bobby Brown real quick and see what it's like to work with Henry Cavill.
Millie Bobby Brown. What's Millie
Enola
Bobby
Holmes. One of the most successful film franchises on Netflix.
Isn't it a show?
No, it's movies, and it's Henry Cavill as Sherlock Holmes.
Hilarious. Had no idea.
Come for Henry Cavill as Sherlock Holmes, leave 20 minutes later because it's not a great movie.
Y'all are all acting like I'm supposed to know stuff because everyone knows Enola Holmes. Come on.
No, people are like, I thought it was a show. It's fine. It's fine.
Nobody knows shit about Enola Holmes.
Nobody knows anything about Enola Holmes.
But the first one was cute. That's great. I have no shit to talk. I just haven't seen it. I don't know what it is.
Is it a problem that I got Millie Bobby Brown's number from Drake?
Yeah.
Why are all these horrible people doing things? Why is Henry Cavill not allowed to do one good Superman movie? He came back for Black Adam. He came back. He didn't want to come back. He was acting like he wanted to come back, but he was like,
to be Superman. He wanted to be like, look, I'm still Superman.
But he didn't want to do another one of the movies because he didn't like the way they were treating the character. And then they were like, we promise you're going to get to do one. Come back. The Rock called him up and said, listen, you're going to get to do one good one. You and me, bud. You and me, we'll do it. And Henry Cavill's like, I don't know why, but I believe you. I believe you.
And he shouldn't have. Anyways, y'all, we're already over time.
Overtime.
Why is my computer alerts at the bottom telling me about the NASDAQ? Look at this, Anthony.
Oh, probably because they just started publicly trading Neopoints.
My computer's never once told me about the NASDAQ.
You got to look at the NASDAQ. Did you do a Windows update recently? They'll sneaky add stuff.
Anthony, you know what my main context is for the NASDAQ? And I'm not joking. A business big enough that it could be listed on the NASDAQ goes belly up. It disappears. It ceases to exist without me.
Sure.
I was a teenager when that came out. That's when I was just like, yes, of course, the NASDAQ.
The NASDAQ. Pip, pip. I still, when I think of the NASDAQ, I still think that it's like a code name for a spaceship or a ray gun.
For people who are confused, that's from Breaking Bad. It's the I am the one who knocks scene. Or Walter White. A business big enough that it could be listed on the NASDAQ. Belly up. Right through his teeth.
It could be listed on the NASDAQ, but there are a few things keeping it from being listed on the NASDAQ, Walter White.
The first one is meth. The second one, shockingly?
Shockingly?
Meth.
Shockingly? Lack of paperwork. You just didn't file.
All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for showing up for the show today. We appreciate you so very much. We do the show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at exactly 8 a.m. Pacific.
That's right. If it's not 8 a.m. by the time we start, well, that's time, you know? And that's not on us because it's exactly 8 a.m. for us.
Can't be explained.
So it's like what Einstein says is if you run really fast and look backwards, different.
Your kidnapping crimes don't count.
Yeah. If you run like this on a green screen, no one can catch you, including time.
Anyway, so come back and watch the show on Monday. You can also always catch these on YouTube. Hey, maybe you're watching on YouTube right now. If you're on YouTube right now, you can catch it live on Twitch.
If you're not on either and you're watching this show, did you pirate this show and Street Fighter 6?
Why? The show is free.
The show's free. We would have given it to you.
Join the Discord. Discord's free to join. It's not even subgated or anything because we just want a good place for the community to gather. So go and join your fellow BBs in the Discord. Links will be in the chat and the description on YouTube. And hey, we do other things during the week. Not me right now.
What?
I just want to be so clear. Not me right now. Couldn't be me. I'll probably stream for a little bit today, but my schedule is fucked right now. But that's at Not Saige and twitch.tv/NotSaige. Where are you, Anthony?
I'm everywhere at a Carboni, except for here on Twitch where I'm at Anthony Carboni. Twitch, you cowards, it's mine. Give it back to me. I've been working on a little thing for a while, and I think it's going to premiere on the Twitch this week. I think it's ready. So definitely follow on the Twitch. You can also catch my science comedy podcast with Jeff Kanata. It's called We Have Concerns. Watch that at wehaveconcerns.com. We want to thank all of you BBs.
And hey, a super special thank you to the people who support us at the stagehand tier on Patreon. Alonzo, Ronan, and Moonkid. Very cool of you. We appreciate you so very much for making this show possible. Hey, we do have a Patreon. It's got a lot of cool offerings and a ton of behind the scenes coming up very, very soon. We've been filming a bunch of stuff to put up there. So keep an eye on the Patreon this week. But that starts at $3 a month.